breaking down the walls. We're breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting loud, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're reclaiming our land, yeah.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness.
Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday night edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the game show that's the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight on Are You Smarter Than a Politician? We're putting freedom to the test with our theme, Freedom on All Fronts, from war zones to your wallet. We have three sharp political voices facing off tonight on the biggest questions Americans are asking right now. Should we finally end these endless wars and bring the troops home, cut Pentagon spending, and shut down overseas bases? What's the fairest path to citizenship? How do we actually reduce prison populations? And when it comes to gun rights, is it time for permitless carry everywhere? It's bold, it's unscripted, and it's the only show asking the questions politicians fear. This is Are You Smarter Than a Politician? Joining us tonight, my buddy, Chris Townsend. You can follow Chris on X at CS Townsend 79, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And Chris wanted to use his promotional time here to shout out antiwar.com with Dave DeCamp. Really a great news source to get the real truth about what's going on in these endless wars. And they're at antiwar.com on Twitter. How are you tonight, Chris?
Doing good. Not as nervous this time as I was last time.
Well, I'll change that. I can mess that up. What do you want me to do to make it harder for you?
No, you're good.
So I want to point out that Chris is one of the guys that helps us out behind the scenes. He does amazing stuff to, help me when I'm stuck on questions at, all the different stuff going on. So it's great to have Chris back on again. Also joining us tonight is Derek Wills. Derek is the author of The Liberty Solution. That's available on Amazon in paperback, the audio, and the Kindle. And he's currently working on a second book, Chaos in Auburn. He's a featured writer at the Torch Media at thetorch.media. That's through our friends at the Libertarian Allies, and a really great publication that they're putting together over there. And they're actually going to be on Friday, so we'll shout that out again on Friday. And then he's also got his YouTube channel, ANCAP Air, and he's working on his piloting license. How are you tonight, Derek?
I'm doing well, man. This is so exciting, and I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. This is we tried to get this to work a little bit sooner, but finally here. And so I got the book, and I got to say, this is the first time that the title has actually, for my second book, that has ever been mentioned in public. So you get a little bit of an exclusive there, knowing and announcing the title of my second book as Chaos in Auburn. So, yeah,
That's
it's
exciting.
a novel. Yeah. It's a novel, unlike my first book, which is a philosophical treatise. This is a work of fiction. Basically, it's about the town of Auburn, New Hampshire. They decide to secede, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. And yeah, the YouTube thing, it's good. It's still a work in progress. I have the channel, no content yet. I'm waiting to actually get in the cockpit to do that. But there's a saying in the aviation industry: "What makes an airplane fly?" And it's money. And yeah, so that's where I'm at with that.
Being an ANCAP might not be the most lucrative way to go about life. Being a corrupt uniparty member might be a quicker way to get your own Learjet.
Very true.
And I wanted to say too, I was telling Derek backstage that I've been a huge fan of his for years, and he was one of the guys that when he started responding to me, that's what made me start developing my account and talking about my views, and he really inspired me along the way. I was telling my son that Derek was on tonight. He's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool for you," and I'm like, "Yeah, that is really pretty cool for me." So I was very excited, bragging to my son. So thanks for doing this, Derek.
I appreciate having the invite, man. This is awesome, and yeah, you're also one of my favorite mutuals. So don't tell any of the other mutuals of that, but it's you.
Nobody watches this, so we're cool. And third joining us is Sean Miller. You can follow Sean on X at Sean for Liberty. He's the founder and the CEO of the Liberty Policy Alliance, and that's a separate account on X. That's Liberty POL_ALLY. And they're also on Instagram. The address is on the screen, as well as Facebook. And their motto is the Liberty Policy Alliance: live free or die, endorsing ideas, not people. And you can visit their website at libertypolicyalliance.org to volunteer or donate. And you can donate at givelpa.link. Sean, how are you tonight?
Just another day, another dollar. You know how I would like to say another day in paradise, but that feels like the typical white guy. Every white guy has ever lived when asked that question is given that exact response. So we're just here, we're just vibing, and in the words of Motorhead, it's time to play the game. Nice
Motorhead reference. Think we have similar music tastes all here on the panel too, if I remember from following everybody. But so tell me about Liberty Policy Alliance.
Certainly, I'll try to keep this short and brief, but we're a 501c4 nonprofit advocacy organization. Our goal is to advance as much freedom as possible through advocating for and defend and attacking both pro-liberty legislation and we'll go after any anti-liberty legislation at the state and local level. We won't touch anything federal unless it's super egregious. Like our main thing says, we endorse ideas, not people. So if a Republican introduces a bill that's pro-liberty, or we'll fight for it. If a Democrat does it, we'll fight for it. And the same goes for if the bill's anti-liberty. If a Republican introduces it, we'll fight against it. If a Democrat introduces it, we'll fight against it. We do not care. We are nonpartisan, technically, in that we won't go to bat for any one particular candidate over the other in any race whatsoever.
Excellent. I really like what I see you guys doing, and we wanted to have you on the show to promote that. So really appreciate you doing that. And you can follow me and Terry. I am Freedom for Us for All. And the birthday girl, Terry Batts, you can follow her at BattsT76. So I made an executive decision here, and I extended Terry's birthday by 1 day so we could celebrate it all together on the internet, on the show. And so how are you tonight, Terry?
I'm enjoying the heck out of my extended birthday. I've never had an extended birthday before. It's really cool. And now my dogs are going to go crazy. Sorry about that. it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward tonight. I'm a little nervous over here, but the chat is already going. They're already sharing, and I'm ready to get it done. Let's go.
Awesome. Happy birthday once again to you, Terry, and we appreciate you. We love what you do for us and for all of our friends on X. You are an absolute joy to be around, so thank you so much. And let's see here. So that was that. And you can follow us on YouTube and Rumble if we get kicked off of X yet again. And you can get my shirts at freedomsuperstore.com. I am wearing the Make Anarchy Great Again shirt here tonight. And we have the Taxation is Theft. My other car is a Killdozer and Satoshi for President. And many more. You can also get some cool mugs there. And please share this out. Let's get as many people to hear these great gentlemen as possible. And let's jump in and see who joined us so far. And let's jump into the chat here. Terry's been clicking away. Oh, Scientific's actually first this time. Congrats on that, Scientific. Shirley joined us from across the pond. We appreciate you staying up late, Shirley. Chris, you're here, Chris. So I feel like this has already been answered. Sean reposted. Thanks, Sean. Dan, what's up, man? Casey minus 100 to Chris for thinking he's in Top Gun. I made that joke already in our chat earlier, but I'll allow it. Casey's here. Make sure you follow Casey and Casey's shows on tomorrow. They Both Suck is on 8 p.m. Eastern, so check that out. 100 to me for giving 3 homeless guys a place to do his podcast. Yeah, that was nice of me. Kilburn reposted. Thanks, Kilburn. Minus 100 to Derek for being excited. Minus 100 to Chris for wearing sunglasses in the house. You could also go on sunglasses at night. 100 to Derek. Money is not very aerodynamic. Minus 100 to Sean for hiding his name behind the view counter. I don't think that was his choice. Plus 100 to Sean for looking like the nervous guy about to take your daughter to prom.
Oh, God.
100 to me for being the only one to comment. Happy birthday, Terry. Super happy you were born. Yeah. What a gift to us all. Texarchist is here. 100 for the creative Lego avatars. Thank you for that. Awesome. So we got 200 people joined us so far. Make sure you share it out. Let's get as many people here as we can. And Terry will be back manning the chat and manning the points. So we appreciate that. I always like to say, Terry, make Terry's life as hard as possible if you can. We'll see you in a bit, Terry. All right. And if anyone were to win tonight, they would get the Ron Paul holding the Ron Paul trophy, the Mike Johnson signature cologne Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear. And of course, there is the Lego Killdozer, because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than me and Casey. Here are the rules. I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. The rules are you can debate each other. You can veto someone else's answer. In Trump fashion, you can tariff someone else's answer. And in Democratic fashion, if you like someone else's hard work on their answer and you just want to take it for your lazy self, you can redistribute their answer. You start off with negative 500 points because, of course, the government gets paid first. Here's how the scoring works. The chat controls the score. As you saw in the intro, you can give or take up to 100 points from the contestants. Please tell us why, or don't tell us why. It can be for a real reason. It could be for, Chris looking like Top Gun. Anything counts. So here we go. You ready, gentlemen? The first category here is pick one. Chris, to you. Best step to end endless wars. Bring troops home immediately. Ban undeclared wars. Cut Pentagon budget. End foreign aid. Close overseas bases.
I want to go with all the above, but I'd say end foreign aid. We can't pay for what we got to do ourselves. We don't need to be paying other countries to attack brown people.
All right. Chris is on the board. All right. To you, Derek. Best path to citizenship. 5-year tax-paying residency. 10-year clean record. military service pathway, English and civics test only, no path to citizenship.
I'm going to take this a step a little bit further and say banning citizenship completely.
Okay.
Because what is a citizen? A citizen is nothing more than an official slave to the state. So, what are the perks of being a citizen in our constitutional republic? Okay, you get to run for specific offices and you get to vote. And that's really like the crux of what differentiates a citizen from a non-citizen. And so we have all of this, I guess, stock behind the status of citizen. A lot of people talk about how they're a law-abiding citizen and blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's kind of a stupid qualifier. It really is meaningless because unless you're planning on running for, office, there's really no benefit to being a citizen versus a non-citizen. And so I think that no path to citizenship would probably be the best way to go about it.
I agree. It's permission to pay taxes, and why would we not? Why would we say?
And
no?
if you give up your citizenship, you have to pay an exit tax, which is, if you ask Roger Ver, could be quite expensive.
Yeah,
So.
he's the most expensive citizen living in Spain, I believe. So yeah, but he's not getting a great deal on that either. All right, Sean, to you. Best way to reduce prison populations: decriminalize nonviolent offenses, expand parole eligibility, end mandatory minimums, legalize all drugs, or abolish private prisons.
Ooh, this is a good one. I would like to take the Chris route and do all of the above, but if there was something that I could think would have an immediate impact, it would be to decriminalize all nonviolent offenses. This is, of course, this is going to make some people mad, but I think that people who commit fraud, any sort of blue collar violation, that is also I consider those nonviolent offenses. Yes, they are criminal offenses. They should be considered felonies, but the pathway for those people should be to pay restitution to victims and not sit in a lavish lifestyle in what is considerably a fancy prison, which means their life doesn't practically change outside of they are stuck in prison rather than living their lifestyle at home.
Okay, excellent. Chris, back to you. Best path to peace abroad: neutrality, free trade, diplomacy first, private aid instead of government aid, and alliances only for defense.
Let's see. I'm going to have to go with neutrality. We just stay out of everybody else's business and mind our own. Then we got peace for us.
All right. To the point. Derek, to you. Most fair immigration standard: merit-based, family reunification, employer sponsorship, lottery system, or first come, first served?
It's tough. So I would my gut instinct was to say employer sponsorship, but what if you want to come here and start a business? It doesn't work. So I would have to say first come, first served, which kind of implies a quota, which I don't like. But if you don't establish a quota, first come, first serve works because everybody can just come in. So yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
All right. Sean, back to you. Best approach to juvenile offenders: automatic expungement at 18, education focused rehab, house arrest only, community service mandates, juvenile only courts.
Ooh. I genuinely think that the best way forward for juvenile offenders is I would go with the education focused rehab. As we know, being educated, creating obviously through private means, because we're all ANCAPs here, but a private education, let the brain synapses connect here real quick. But an education focused rehab where kids are either, they don't even have to be, it doesn't have to be like, oh, they're learning to be an engineer or they're going to go to a 4-year school or anything. It could be for a trade. It could be to become an electrician. It could be to become a plumber. It could be to become just a tradesman in general, carpenter, all that sort of stuff. Because becoming, like, as you're focusing on the holistic approach of the individual, holistic approaches by and large lead to less recidivism, less people going back to prison, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want when people are out of jail, we don't want them going back. We don't want them committing more crimes, more NAP violations. We want them committing less. So the best way going forward is holistic approaches, teaching young men and women life skills that they can take going forward, that they can then pass forward onto somebody else who might be who might have been in their same situation 15 years later.
Okay. Back to Chris. Best way to rein in police power: abolish qualified immunity, ban no-knock raids, end civil asset forfeiture, demilitarize police, or defund federal policing agencies.
Well, if you look at my bio, you got end qualified immunity, so that's my natural answer. But ending civil asset forfeiture, that's pretty good, because without private property, we don't have any rights, and without due process, then the due process is kind of the condom we put on the Justice Department so they don't fuck us raw. So I don't know. I got to go with all the above.
And we're live, right?
Hey, you popped your cherry, right?
Yeah. And we got kicked off of YouTube at 22:38. All right, Derek, to you. Best gun carry policy: national concealed carry reciprocity, permitless carry everywhere, state by state control, open carry only, or ban all public carry.
Well, technically, permitless carry already exists everywhere if you're not a little bitch. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that. Permitless carry everywhere. Best gun policy. Final answer.
I like the final answer. Excellent. No, you don't want to phone a friend or anything?
No. The last time I phoned a friend, it was real awkward and it just got weird.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. I'm about to win. Are you smarter than a politician? Awesome. All right, Sean, to you. Best federal policy on cannabis: full nationwide legalization, leave it to the states, medical use only, decriminalization without legalization, or keep full prohibition.
Well, since we're using curse words, the last one can be off the fucking table permanently. Yeah. But my personal policy would be full legalization, obviously. But I know people will argue that decriminalization is actually better because all it amounts to is a fine. But I think having having a policy of where, yes, it's very much legal, but oh no, the smell. Oh no. Oh sorry, Brenda, I can't be bothered to smell you. I don't want to have to smell you drunk on 3 bottles of red wine. But here we are anyway. So. But I'll go with full legalization. Final answer. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Awesome. We're mixing in all the game shows. It used to just be whose line is it anyways? Now we're doing all the game shows in parody now. So let me jump into the chat real quick. And Mike's here. What's up, Mike? Minus 100 to Terry for not visiting the right strip clubs for extension. 100 to Russ. 100 from Russ. Welcome, Russ. 100 to Chris for the quick answer. 100 to Chris for ending foreign aid. 100 to Sean for looking like the Bobcat version of the Tiger King.
We're gonna live this
Scientific will go hard at you. Russ says 100 freedom of movement, no matter who. 100 to Derek for his fanciful hand gestures. He's got the jazz hands going early. 100 to Derek for his views on property rights and socialism. Minus 100 to Chris for thinking Osama bin Laden was people. Minus 100 to the government for not restoring capital punishment. I am against capital punishment. Thank you. 100 to Chris for staying out of everyone else's problems. 100 to Chris for hanging his pictures up like a detective trying to solve a crime on an evidence board. Chris has got a murder board going in the background there.
I don't have the strings from picture to picture yet, so
Yeah, you're not going beautiful mind yet.
no.
100 to Derek for first come, first served. We can always say no. Minus 100 to the government for not making parents responsible. I didn't make the parents anything, but 100 to Sean, but in a military encampment. 100 to Sean for believing individualism and restorative practices work. 100 to Chris for the profanity. I knew that was coming. 100 to Chris for saying it like it is. 100 to Derek for profanity. Now Scientific is the swear police, apparently. 100 for no permits. 100 to Derek for not phoning a friend. 100 to Derek for 2A absolutism. 500 for permitless carry. 100 to Sean for swearing. Oh, now Casey's getting into the mix here. 100 for my body, my choice. This is Derek. Minus 100 to Sean for smelling people. Don't smell Brenda, Sean. Come on.
It's not my fault she drank 3 bottles of wine and left the house.
You got 500 for the evidence board. Oh my God, the chat's already on fire. Share it out. Keep it going in the chat. We appreciate y'all. All right. Back to Chris. Best alternative to traditional policing: private security firms, community patrols, mental health first responders, mediation centers, neighborhood watch groups.
We were talking about this the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, I got my ass handed to me on a couple of those, I think.
Yeah, you were going private. Can you put the options back up? Private security firms. That's, if you really want to go to local and agorist methods, that would be the best. Mental health first responders. Okay. Yeah, we got to go with private security firms. If you don't like the job they're doing, you can fire them. They're not going to have qualified immunity. That's my answer.
The sunglasses are throwing me off. I can't tell if you're directing traffic or you're landing a plane or what's going on there.
I get nerves if I can see my own eyes. I don't know. And I'm watching the Astros.
Oh, I'm sorry we're distracting you. All right. Let's see. Yeah, there's an Astros hat too. All right. Derek, to you. Best way to prevent gun violence: more armed citizens, stricter background checks, mental health screening, community defense programs, or gun bans?
Give everyone guns. Everybody, like all the people. If you are a living person, gun. That'll work.
We were talking the other day when the government used to sell the guns to people after a conflict. Like, let's go back to being able to buy a battleship from the government.
Yeah, or like that one couple that found a storage unit filled with M16s, and then, like an idiot, they called the police.
Yeah,
like, why would you do that?
That's retirement money right there. That's airplane money.
That is a lot of airplane money. I could probably take like 3 flights with all that airplane money.
Exactly. All right, Sean, to you. Most effective way to regulate cannabis: treat like alcohol, treat like tobacco, private certification system, no regulation at all, or strict federal control?
See, the nonprofit CEO and I, who has to advocate to both sides of the aisle would say treat it like alcohol or tobacco. However, we're asking this from the perspective of an ANCAP, so the ANCAP in me says that no regulation at all is my final answer.
What about if a city wants to regulate it differently than, another city or their state?
Let's see. First of all, no. Second of all, people can do whatever the fuck they want. They're going to smoke it anyway. And third, also no. Let people smoke their marijuana in peace.
All right.
I'm just gonna say real quick, fuck Danny Goeb, aka Dan Patrick, the Lieutenant Governor of Texas.
All
Yeah.
around home hate Dan Patrick.
Amen to that. All right. Chris, back to you. Best way to enforce single subject rule. Constitutional amendment, Supreme Court enforcement, automatic nullification of multi-issue bills, I think that was supposed to say, and voter referendums or public transparency watchdogs.
I think we got to go with 1 and 2. Maybe voter referendums. That way we feel like we're actually making some of the decisions. With these omnibus bills, the big, beautiful bullshit, that's all got to end because it's just never ending. I mean, we got, what do they call it? Continuing resolutions and omnibus, and it's just never ending. So I think we really got to do it with constitutional amendment followed by Supreme Court enforcement.
Okay. Derek, to you. Best approach to digital currencies. Ban CBDCs outright. Allow free competition with crypto. State-issued digital currencies. Fully anonymous transactions, or keep only physical cash?
Man, so I think that if you don't regulate crypto, and could you bring them back up so I get the wording right real quick? So allow free competition. That's how I'm interpreting that, is free market for crypto, no regulation. I think that will really expand. I mean, we've already seen a lot of expansion on privacy tokens as well. But the lack of regulation also kind of makes privacy a little less necessary. It should be still at the forefront of everybody's thought, and privacy tokens should keep coming up. But without regulation on crypto, then you won't have as much of a need for it. And with that, you kind of already put a de facto market ban on CBDCs, because nobody in their right freaking mind will say, yeah, I'm going to take this Federal Reserve token that is just going to devalue like my dollar. And nobody's going to want that. It's going to be the worst crypto you could ever buy in, worse than any meme coin whatsoever. Meme coins will have actual more utility than a CBDC would, especially in a purely free market for the crypto industry. So yeah, I'm going to go with full competition, deregulation of all cryptocurrencies.
And shout out to Zano, who sponsors our Friday shows for your privacy needs in crypto. And I don't want to pat myself on the back, but since I started talking about Zano, they've actually more than doubled in value. So I'm not saying it's me, but I'm also not saying it's not me. So yeah. So shout out to Zano.
Know.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you were talking about shit coins. I mean, don't we already have a shit coin, Derek? I mean, that's
it's called the US dollar.
Yeah,
it is the worst shit coin known to man.
Yeah.
I do not recommend. Don't buy it.
Yeah. It's the shit coin nobody's promoting anywhere on X. Like,
and has never really gone up in value ever.
Yeah, it's such a bad shit coin that not even the bots are promoting it on X.
Yeah, it's worth less than the material it's made out of.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Great answer. All right, to you, Sean. Most effective way to cut federal spending: audit the Pentagon, end foreign aid, slash entitlement programs, eliminate corporate subsidies, cut across all agencies equally.
we'll cut across all agencies equally, because at the end of the day, auditing the Pentagon, that needs to happen anyway. All this needs to happen anyway. But the priority first is to actually cut government spending from all agencies all across the board, and none of this fake Doge bullshit. I'm sorry for the 5 people who actually believe Doge was successful, but an actual ratified spending cuts within a one issue bill. Let's clarify this. None of this big beautiful bill, build back better, whatever you want to fucking call it. Same shit, different name. But actual spending cuts in all departments across the board, include, because you're going to have to, when you're cutting the military budget, the Pentagon budget, you're going to have to audit it anyway. That's going to happen. So let's just go with the cuts on all across the board.
Excellent. Chris, to you, best way to make lawmaking transparent: ban riders and earmarks, plain language bills only, public read before vote mandate, publish bills online 72 hours early, single page limit for all bills. I think you're muted.
Plain language bills. We don't live in ancient Europe. We don't need all bullshit language. You know, if we just have a language that we actually speak.
All right. Derek, to you. Most urgent privacy reform: end warrantless surveillance, ban facial recognition technology, stop big tech government collusion, repeal the Patriot Act, protect online anonymity.
I believe that, and I'm going to give a caveat to my answer. I believe that if you repeal the Patriot Act, you end warrantless surveillance by default. So I'm definitely going to go with that. If that's not accurate, then I'm going to say the warrantless surveillance as, kind of first. But if the Patriot Act has that, which I am 99% sure that it does, I'm going with that, because the Patriot Act is an abomination that never should have been conceived as anything but patriotic. And that's how the government always spends these things. So anytime they paint it as something good, it's always the exact opposite. So fuck the Patriot Act, fuck everyone who voted for it, and fuck everyone who supports it.
And I would just add to that.
Tell us how you really feel.
I would just add to that, everybody that votes to keep renewing it too. Yeah.
Yes, and fuck them too.
Yeah, and I think FISA is the Warrantless Surveillance Act, but I think that's part of the Patriot Act. But Terry knows that better than me. So
Patriot Act adjacent.
Yeah, there's a bunch of bad stuff out there. NDAA, FISA, all of them, Cloud Act, all of them. Yeah. So Sean, to you, best replacement for federal income tax: flat tax, national sales tax, tariffs only, corporate tax only, or states fund the federal government.
When I was a young college student, I read the fair tax, and I thought I was big and smart for my age, at the ripe age of 19. And then I realized that there's no such thing as a fair tax. All taxation is theft. And therefore, that is my answer, because we're thinking outside the box while thinking still inside the box of an anarchist.
All right. And we made it through round one here. So if you have not entered your scores in the chat, please do so now. And let's jump into the chat and see what's going on. Yeah, just crossed 1,000 views. Yeah, please repost to break that algorithm. Sometimes X likes us, sometimes X doesn't like us. So your help is greatly appreciated. 100 to Chris for the short answer. 100 to Free for not putting gorillas on cocaine for alternatives to traditional policing. It didn't fit, and I don't have emojis. 100 to Chris for not believing that security officers aren't just rent-a-cops. 100 for mandate pew-pews. 100 to Derek for giving everyone guns. The answer is guns. 100 to Derek for disarming the government by arming the people against them. 100 to Sean for giving newborns marijuana. 100 to anyone who hates Dan Patrick. Yeah, so sprinkle the infield there. Everybody gets 100. 100 to Derek for giving newborns guns to go with their weed. 100 to me for using the proper term cannabis. Yeah, that's a little known fact that the government came up with the term marijuana to make it sound scary and Mexican. I think that's awesome. I think that was Nixon. Minus 100 to Chris for having horrible poker glasses. Thanks for throwing in all the emojis there. Minus 100 to Chris for counting on the Supreme Court. That's fair. 200 to Chris for bringing up omnibus. Understood Derek 50. 100 to Chris for muting himself. 100 to Derek for ending the Patriot Act. Did Free just use my name and the Patriot Act and FISA in the same sentence? Yes, I did, Terry. That was a birthday present to you. All your research on that from back last year. All right, so let's go to the scores here. And I need to share this, which I did not do. So let me just jump into the share here. All right. Here it is. So far, we got Derek in the lead with 750. Not using the phone a friend has worked out well for him. Chris has got 600 and Sean right behind with 500. Sean, you're in third place so far, but you're in the positive, which is a good thing. What do you think so far?
Maybe I need to make my answers more creative, I guess. Well, creative and simple at the same time. There's a big mix of the chat of who likes creative answers, who likes simple answers. So I'll throw some curveballs, I'll throw some knuckleballs, and then maybe we'll get 99 up and in on the hands.
All right. Maverick, you're in second place there. How's it going? What are you going to do about these other bogeys?
I'll just keep answering like I'm answering now. I'm glad not being negative points in last place like I was the whole last time I was on. That's good.
That's good. Yeah. Although Zach considers that a golf score and he goes for that. So that is also a strategy. Yeah. And Derek, first time on the show and you're in the lead. What do you think so far?
Well, all I can say is that I'm the best that there's ever been. I mean, you just can't beat me. So, I mean, if you're not first, you're last. So that's what I think about that.
Oh, I like it. You went like with the wrestler promo speech. I like that.
Bobby reference.
All right. Is that what's his name from the what I can't even remember the name of that movie. The race car
Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Talladega Nights. Yeah, that was a miss by me. I don't watch many movies. All right. Let's get back to it here. All right. New category. Blank the government. Okay. So this is the fill in the blank category. Chris, to you. The category is anti-war. Endless wars exist to... Endless wars exist to...
Expand state control.
All right. Excellent. Derek, to you.
Fuck the government. Sorry, I had to.
You're going to take my point.
Yeah. Well, you know. So endless wars exist.
Well, no, hold on. Sorry, I got a new one for you, and you guys can jump in if you want. If you want to, you can jump in. But I do have a new one for you teed up. But if you want to, one up one of your competitors here. Yeah. All right, Derek, to you. Troops fighting abroad without authorization is
murder, and it is also murder if they're fighting abroad with authorization, because war is murder. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with murder. Final answer.
Premeditated murder at that. Yeah. Excellent. Sean, to you. Military bases in 80 countries prove America is
imperialistic. There's no other country has nearly as many. If they do have bases, they're few and far between. Or if they do have bases, they're technically our bases because we're paying them through NATO. So imperialistic.
Absolutely. Empire building. All right. And like I said, you can jump in if you want to, add on to somebody else's answer, and feel free to, give your explanation as well. Probably should have read the rules, but I didn't. So, Chris, to you. Drone strikes without declaration of war are
Murder.
That was my answer.
Yeah.
It's the same answer. I mean, it's war. So.
Yeah. Video game murder, still murder, I guess. Yeah. All right, Derek, to you. The war on terror became a war on
Privacy. Because we already talked about it with the Patriot Act and FISA and warrantless surveillance, and may as well throw in X-Keyscore and PRISM, which are, if you're not familiar, those are the programs that Ed Snowden revealed that the NSA was doing. And now we're in we're magnifying them with Palantir, and they're already doing some very, very scary shit with immigration or immigrant OS or immigration OS, whatever it is that they are creating as a prototype for the rest of us. So yeah, the war on terror was actually a war on individual privacy.
Don't forget,
excellent answer.
Go
ahead.
The backdoor. You were talking about now it's also legal for cops to search your phone by simply holding up your phone to your face, and unlocking your phone via Face ID. So that's all. We've transplanted it from not just the federal level, but the state and local level as well.
100%. And your girlfriend can unlock your phone while you're sleeping when you do that too. So put your passcodes on.
Fingerprint.
All right. This is to Sean. Regime change wars have made the world more
unstable. Now over the last, this has been going on since longer than the war on terror. If we go all the way back to the beginning of the Cold War, U.S. regime change has not only caused leadership in countries to hate us, people in other countries to hate us. They don't hate us for our freedom. They hate the fact that we meddle in their government business all the time. And Venezuela is about to be, as much as I hate Nicolas Maduro because he's a fat fucking socialist, I think it's the responsibility of the Venezuelan people to topple their fat fucking socialists. So they've definitely made the war more unstable and more unfriendly to us as individual Americans. Now we're not seen as liberators, we're seen as conquerors.
I love that the chat is fighting with each other now.
Yeah, just noticed it.
There's a full brawl going on in the chat. Great answer though, Sean. Chris, to you. Categories: free market reforms. Tax loopholes exist because
I don't know, but taxation is theft. Tax loopholes exist to give the rich a free pass when they're fucking the rest of us.
100%. All right. Derek, to you. The Federal Reserve manipulates interest rates to
prove that we do not live in a capitalist society and a free market. Final answer.
Right. Yeah. The lending money to your friends for cheap and then making us pay for it. It's not exactly capitalism, I don't think.
Especially when
Sean,
you create that what you lend out of thin air and doesn't really exist. You're like, this doesn't exist. Here you go. By the way, you need to pay me more of it whenever you pay me back. Like, if that's not a scam, I don't know what is.
I didn't see the outcome of it, but Bob Murphy was involved in something online where they were talking about the banks actually can create money out of thin air now as well. So it's not even just the Federal Reserve. The banks can just create their own money.
Are you talking about with fractional reserve banking?
I think,
because
I forget the exact term.
That's been a thing for a while. Basically, they can, there used to be limits on how much banks could loan out. based off of a total percentage of their deposits. But when COVID hit, the Federal Reserve removed all of those restrictions, so every bank can loan out 100% of all of their deposits at interest, and all of those will eventually get deposited into other banks, which will then loan them out. And so if you factor it out, if you take a single $100 deposit and factor it out of all the loans using just a 10% metric of reserve, that $100 yields an extra $1,000 of money that did not exist. And whenever you remove that reserve requirement to 0 instead of 10%, it's actually infinite.
Yeah, I think it's beyond fractional reserve though now that they can actually just loan without even having any reserve at all.
Yeah.
So they can.
Yeah, they got rid of the reserve requirements during COVID, and they have never reinstituted them. I think they were just looking for a reason to do that.
Yeah, and they can, lend multiples of what their reserve is, not even a fraction of their reserve like they used to be able to. Unreal. Well, I guess if it doesn't exist, what does it matter, right? All right. Sean, to you. Every regulation is really a hidden what?
Penalty on individual and small businesses. You notice all these big corporations, and I've spoken on this before. I could go into a diatribe on the Federal Register, and it's 90,000 fucking pages. It's more than 10 times the size of the tax code itself. But you notice how all these large corporations, the Walmarts, Targets, all the restaurants, McDonald's, they have large divisions dedicated just to regulatory compliance. The mom and pop restaurant doesn't have that kind of ability. The mom and pop retailer, the person selling just whatever they want online, trying to open they have their own little eBay store, or I'm a card game player, TCGplayer.com for all the Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh folks who buy cards on TCG Player, the individual marketplace. Those people don't have a whole regulatory compliance department, and it's because it's essentially cronyism. The Walmarts, the Targets, they lobby for the benefit. They lobby, say, well, we're willing to comply with the regulation, but we need to make it strict enough so our competition can't outnumber us. And Target, and this idea that Target and Walmart compete against each other is a lie, when in reality they know each other exists for each other's dollar. If they're competing against anybody, they're competing against the small business owner, but they're playing at an uneven playing field because they lobby for these regulations.
Great answer. Chris, to you. Tariffs punish who?
The customers. They're a tax, period. I don't care what Dumbo Trump wants to say. They're a fucking tax, and they punish us. They punish the free market.
Yeah. I love that they're going to be a dividend now. So
we
can pay them and then get a fraction. That's the fractional reserve. We get a fraction back of the regressive tax on tariffs.
We got thieves with the conscience now.
To borrow a word from Thomas Massey, tariffs are nenarded.
Yeah.
Say again.
Nenarded.
Nenarded.
All right. Derek, to you. The best way to stop crony capitalism is to shrink what?
Oh, man. So my instinct is to say government, but I think really if we shrink the Federal Reserve's power, that would actually have a better job of doing it. So in the Fed entirely, I think that would go a long way I think that would go a long way to freeing up the market and ending crony capitalism.
Is this where I get to use my veto?
Sure.
I think that if you abolish the tax code and abolish the Federal Register, that is the best way to, going back to my previous answer about regulation, this is the best way to get rid of crony capitalism, because at that point, there truly is an even playing field. Walmart and Target the big corporations have to compete with the little guy. They can't just lobby the government for burdensome regulations or ways of shrinking their tax compliance. They actually have to compete in a free and fair market. And then I would say end the Fed. End the Fed is a third. Ending the Fed is the third part there. It's the cake topper on the wedding cake.
So, if I may interject, I would like to make a point about how powerful the Federal Reserve is. You know, they don't report to the government. They can literally and have told Congress to go fuck itself. So, the fact that they have that level of power, to me, indicates that reducing their power or eliminating it entirely, which is what it should be, would have a bigger impact. Don't get me wrong; everything you said is perfectly valid and would have a positive impact on ending crony capitalism and freeing the market. But I really think that it underestimates the power that the Federal Reserve has.
My favorite Federal Reserve thing is when they took back stress tests from the government, and then they knew they were going to raise interest rates rapidly, yet they didn't include it in their stress tests. So all those banks failed because they'd been stress tested on everything except for rapidly rising interest rates. So the Federal Reserve is a clown show, and you're right, they have no accountability at all. All right. So that was Derek. So now to you, Sean. Healthcare would be cheaper if what?
Oh, this is twofold. We get rid of Medicare and Medicaid because obviously government expenditures in the government is essentially the world. There was a study done some 15 years ago. The federal government is essentially the world's largest. The United States federal government is the world's largest health insurer. But what would actually increase competition that would decrease costs is to abolish certificate of need laws in states across the country. For those who don't know, certificate of need basically says that, it's a board of these particular hospital organizations within a state. They get to dictate what if you get to open even so much as an X-ray, as an imaging center or not. They get to say, we already do this. There's no need for this in this area. So abolishing certificate of need is the true free market answer to creating costs, because no longer can these hospitals and these hospital organizations lobby government to protect them from an independent practitioner from opening up their own, whether it's a birthing center, imaging center, surgery center. So yeah, abolishing certificate of need. Back to you, Pat.
Thanks, Vanna. I went to the same college as Pat Sajak, by the way, but it's where I knew I wanted to be a game show host all the way back then.
Popewood next.
Yeah. All right, Chris, to you. Categories: personal privacy. The Fourth Amendment means nothing if.
I don't know what I got for that. If the government keeps putting caveats in every law that nullifies it.
That's a good answer.
That was longer than the space.
No, you can say as much as you want. It's just I only have the little blank. I'm gonna when we get more sponsors, I'm gonna upgrade to the bigger blank. But right now that's all we have. All right, Derek, to you. Facial recognition is the beginning of, or I guess facial recognition technology is the beginning of.
I don't think that the technology in and of itself is something bad. Like just about anything, the way that it is utilized is ultimately what dictates what is good and is bad. So, just as for instance, using a gun in self-defense is good. Using it to commit murder is bad. So it's not the tech, it's not the object, but the state's use of facial recognition is the beginning of a dystopian police state where everything is tracked. Even if they aren't keeping active, taking active looks at people, they're still logging it. And those logs can be looked at any point, and they can look up any specific date and time and see what you were doing. And right now, it's already been implemented in a lot of ways. Just to board an international flight, for instance, now they take your picture right before you get on the plane, and then whenever you re-enter the country. So it's very, very disheartening, very, very scary. And the government's use of facial recognition technology is evil and absolutely should be abolished in every way, shape, or form. By the way, if I donate some of my points, can you get a longer blank?
Yes. No, the unfortunately the points are fiat points as well, so they're not worth anything either. So, yeah, but I appreciate the effort there.
Yeah, I want to expand on that a little bit.
Go for it.
You got facial recognition, body recognition when you go into sporting events, concerts, and like ANCAP was saying, it's not the technology itself; it's people's use of it. And if you remember back, well, this was before any of us were alive, but when cameras came out, they were going to steal our soul. When phones came out, they were going to destroy languages. And they ended up not doing either one doing that. It's people's dependency and stupidity and belief in the nefarious uses of tech.
Yeah, I'll piggyback as well on the whole government usage of it. Look at China right now. How do they enforce their social credit system? Through facial recognition technology. That's one of the CCP is one of the biggest drivers of facial recognition technology, and if we're not careful, we might ourselves be heading towards a social credit system. Though considering our current how our current Commerce Secretary treats capitalism, the definition of capitalism, I'd be very worried about that.
Yeah, we're going to a social criminal system already with ICE, with their facial recognition, or the guys that are pretending to be ICE, and they just walk up with their phone. Doesn't matter if you're the guy they're going after or not. If you're objecting, they just snap your picture and know everything about you.
Yeah. And then they try to get, when there's a protest, you can't wear a mask and, all that stuff that they're clamoring for because they want facial recognition on all of that. And it's unbelievable. All right.
As somebody who has been interrogated by the FBI, I don't recommend it. It sucks. So yeah.
I was also telling my son about that, about how you published your FBI file with what was it, like 160 pages or something crazy like that?
It's 123 pages, but they only gave me 14 very heavily redacted pages. And yeah, they may as well not have even given me that because it told me literally nothing. Yeah.
Crazy. And you got that through a Freedom of Information Act request, or you wouldn't have even gotten that much, right?
Yeah. So I will say I have a bunch of articles on my Twitter account, on my X account, but one of them is entitled "Why the FBI Has 123 Pages on Me." It tells my story, but more importantly, it tells you how to submit your own Freedom of Information Act request to see what the FBI has on you. They could very well reply with saying, "Oh, we don't have anything on you," and that's fine. But if they do give you a nice little package in the mail with a CD on it that says, "Hey, here's all the information that we have. By the way, it's actually much more, and we're not going to tell you what it is." It's a little disheartening, to say the least.
Yet we still know more about. They gave Derek more information about him than they've released about the Epstein files. So
absolutely true. Wow, you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna give 100 of my points to Sean for that answer.
All right. I'm going to redact those 100 points though, so he only gets one of them. My role as the government is to redact in situations like that. So, all right.
Sorry, man. Sorry, Sean. I tried.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But I do have a CD burner still, so you'll get it in 6 to 8 weeks. So, all right, back to it. So that was Derek. So to Sean, privacy is not about hiding; it's about
Freedom to act as one sees fit, as long as they're not harming someone's life, liberty, and property. If I'm not doing anything wrong, not only am I, even if I am doing something wrong, I'm definitely going to hide it, but I don't need my information out there. I don't want my information out there. If I share, it's the freedom to share information as much as I'm willing to share with you. It's also the freedom to keep information tucked to the vest. If I'm planning like something like a party or something, or if it's like I don't want people in my personal life. So it's the freedom to be able to control the information about yourself.
excellent.
I'm going to sum up Sean's answer. Privacy is not about hiding. It's about minding your fucking business.
Yeah.
And to the NSA agents watching this video right now.
Yeah.
Can't fix it.
I'd like to redact myself. I'm redacting myself. So, all right. Chris is now, I think Chris is taking orders for Time Life videos.
My 5-year-old broke a Lego.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Chris, to you. Categories: financial privacy. Government surveillance of transactions is
Spying. It's invasion of. I forget the words. It's an invasion of my privacy. It's invasion of my free space.
okay. All right, Derek, to you. CBDCs are really about giving the government control over
Everything. Literally everything. You couldn't go and buy a loaf of bread without the state's permission if CBDC gets implemented. It's absolutely horrifying. And, geez, I mean, the cash right now is like, and I'll kind of say crypto because it's more liberty based, but we don't have a lot of freedom left in this country. It's microscopic, the little things that we do have. CBDC wipes out all of that. All the little crumbs that we have left, if you even want to call them crumbs, they might be like morsels. Is a morsel larger than a crumb? I don't know. Whatever is smaller than a crumb, it's like half of that. So CBDCs get rid of that. And it's horrible. And honestly, more people should be absolutely terrified of the potential of that even coming to existence. The fact that it's a topic of discussion should terrify you. And, I know that a lot of Bitcoin maxis like it whenever the government and these big financial firms do things with crypto. And yeah, it is good from an investment perspective, but whenever the state is getting involved, you should at least take pause and observe and see what's going on. And yeah. And by the way, Casey, I don't need a beer. I have something else right now.
All right. Yeah, I don't see scientific in the chat, but he'd be the one to answer the morsel versus crumbs question. So he likes stuff like that. So Sean, to you. Cash transactions are treated like crimes because
the government doesn't get to control what you're doing. They don't get a portion of the revenue. They don't get to see the money changing hands. That's why so oftentimes we see with civil asset forfeiture, if they even sniff it above 1,000, the local police call in the DEA to get their 20% kickback, because that's what they're federally allowed to under law. So, but yeah, no, it's really just about treating the average person as a criminal because there's no taxes on a cash-based transaction. There's no there's no record, whether it's a bank statement or any sort of like printed. Sometimes a lot of the times there's no printed receipt on a cash transaction between individuals. So yeah, it's because the government wants their share, regardless if it's between you and an individual or you and a small business.
Great answer. Chris, to you.
Thanks, Steve.
Now I don't even know which game show that is. Oh, Steve Harvey. He's got what did he do? Family Feud.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Survey says. All right, Chris. Government wants digital money, so
they can track everything and turn it off.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. If I get debanked, I for sure will not be allowed to get a bigger blank. So if debanking is deblanking in my case, I guess. So, all right, Derek, to you. Crypto scares politicians because
it calls into question the it jeopardizes the Federal Reserve's power. Because if you can actually have a valuable asset that competes with centralized currency, it is very much a threat to their power and well-being. That's why it is so scary for them and so important for us that we continue to push adoption, specifically with privacy coins like Monero and all of the other privacy coins out there that are all coming up. So yeah, I think that answers the question.
It sure does. Excellent. All right, Sean, to you. Financial freedom means nothing if every dollar is
worthless. If it's more valuable to me to wipe my ass with $1 than actually spend the dollar, what's the point of financial freedom?
Is this a COVID ass wiping or just a regular toilet papers available ass wiping?
If you have no other forms of wiping your own ass, and the dollar is more valuable to you wiping your own ass than actually spending that dollar, what is the point of financial freedom? Because the more the government prints the dollar, the more the government prints just money in general, the more it will literally become more worthwhile to you to wipe your own ass with a said dollar than spend that dollar. I mean, look at Venezuela. The currency on the currency on World of Warcraft became worth more than the Venezuelan currency. Like people were literally trading through people in Venezuela were literally trading through World of Warcraft to be able to buy things like toilet paper and whatnot. If you want an actual example related to wiping one's own ass.
I'm going to go ahead and give you 100 points for making the dollar a true shit coin there. That was an excellent tie-in to the shit coin. All right. Enter your scores. Throw them in the chat if you have not already. The chat got a little backed up here, so let me jump in here real quick. 100 to Sean for caring about the chat. +1 to Chris to keep the positive going. 100 to Sean for being honest. -100 to Derek for being too big to fail. 100 to the first to say F the government.
Fuck the government.
Yeah, I'm sure we had it somewhere in there. 100 to Derek for being Derek. I'll double that. 200 to Derek for being Derek there. 100 to Sean for materialistic. 100 to Casey for saying F the government first. -100 to Kilburn for using Neuralink. I don't know what this. I think this was from the chat wars earlier. -100 to Kelsicles for assuming I'm typing. -200 to Kilburn for typing. +1 to Chris for taxation is theft. 100 to Derek. Yeah. It's going to make it harder for me to read too. And I think he's doing it just for that reason too. 100 to Derek for pointing out cronyism. -100 to Derek for not saying capital isn't. 100 to Chris for remembering to hydrate. 100 to Chris for his stickers on his Tumblr. 100 to Chris for face palming the chat. 100 for the first to say "and the Fed."
And the Fed.
Yeah, I think we had that a few times. 100 to Sean for not going on a diatribe. Minus 100 to Derek for not wanting to interrupt Sean. Minus 100 to Sean for going on a diatribe anyways. 500 to Derek for interacting with the chat. 100 to Derek if he tries to give himself points in the chat. That's the Ryan Woodcraft move right there. He's got burners and he gives himself points. Yeah, there we go. So now he's done it. Don't let them con you, Derek. I actually do read the chat. It won't work. Yeah, Terry's on the ball there. Minus 100 to Terry for being a party pooper. Hey, it's her party. It's her birthday. She can poop if she wants to.
She can wipe her ass with their dollars.
Yeah, we got shit coins. We got shit coins if it overflows. Minus 100 to Casey for being disrespectful to Terry. Minus 100 to Free. Stress is a liberal hoax. Plus 100 to Sean for going on a diatribe again, even though he said he wouldn't. 100 to all the guests for being good sports. 100 to Derek for wanting to abolish facial recognition used by the government. Plus 1 to Megadeth for warning us about surveillance. Straight up. When Dave Mustaine is a prophet, shit has gone awry. Let's just say that. Dave Mustaine, with all the drugs he did, had better insight to what the world was turning into than our entire government.
Warning, plus 20 awesome guitar solos. What more could you want?
Exactly. And twice the speed live, I could tell you. Chat got quiet. Where are you all at? They're getting a beer. That's probably true. Terry is correct. Minus 1 to Derek for not having a beer. I think we covered this. Then he got 1 for the cannabis. 1 to Chris for tracking spending. Minus 1 to Chris for not stopping the spending on guns. Minus 100 to Derek. Politicians hate crypto because he's a super dog, and Christy Noam can't pew pew a bulletproof dog. Well, she probably could, but yeah. So
she tried.
The Christy Noam from dog killer to border Barbie Botox cosplay.
I'm surprised. Yeah. I was surprised when Trump didn't nominate her for head of the ATF. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, you give her the whole Homeland Security Department anyway. It's all relative.
Is there a dog catcher cabinet position? She could do that too.
I will say I'm going to give 100 points to Matt Stone and Trey Parker for the killer South Park episode featuring Christy Noam.
Yeah, and read my mind, Derek.
Pun very much intended.
Yeah, wish one of them would run. Good libertarians.
They're Canadian.
No, I don't think they're Canadian. I thought they were actually from Colorado. Somebody fact check me in the chat. I'm sure I'll lose points for whatever I just said.
I just lost them.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the scores and see what's going on. Oh, wow. We had a reversal of fortune here. We've got Sean in the lead. It's a close race here, 1,100. And there's Chris with his crooked number, the 1,002, thanks to Kelsicles in the chat. And then Derek with an even 1,000. Derek, you talked a lot of smack. What do you think now?
Well, I'm going to tell you that Matt Stone was born in Houston, Texas. And Trey Parker was born in Kaufner, Colorado. So yeah, they can run. Actually, they can run vice president and vice president as a ticket. So yeah. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. I feel like I was just getting picked on because I was the new guy. Not really though, because this is like whose line is it anyway, where all the points are made up, or where everything's made up and the points don't matter anyway. So, I'm just here to have a good time. And if you can't have a good time, what's the point of living, man?
Yeah. All right. I hope the chat penalizes Chris there, because not only did he whiff on one is from Colorado, but he whiffed on Houston,
where I'm from.
Yeah, where you're from. So that's a
and
terrible
where I'm
mistake
from.
There. Yeah. So, Sean, you jumped out in the lead. What do you think so far?
I'm just here to have a good time. And in the words of Marshawn Lynch, I'm also just here so I don't get fined.
We got some great quotes in the smack talking. I like this. So, all right. Last round here. Back to Chris. Categories: criminal justice reform, No-knock raids should be outlawed because
Private property matters. Due process. That's all I got.
okay. I was wondering if there was another shirt there, like maybe you're going to go into your closet for more answers or something. So,
Yeah.
okay. Derek, to you. Prosecutors routinely abuse power by
Existing. I'm gonna go with being alive and present in such a position. Yeah, by existing.
Okay. That's fair. Sean, to you. Criminal justice reform starts by
Abolishing the state.
okay.
100 points to Sean for that fantastic answer.
There we go.
I'll double that.
All right. Chris, to you. Categories immigration. Immigration should be about contribution, not about
Well, what's it about now? Should be about contribution, not about how much money you got, what color your skin is. I'm not sure how to answer that.
No, those are good answers.
I honestly think that question is flawed because it establishes. Pull the question back up real quick.
No, now that you made fun of it, I'm not pulling it back up. I deleted it.
Derek is playing the
I
the
redacted
role of
it.
Casey tonight.
Yeah.
It's redacted. Usually only Scientific calls my questions crap from the chat. So
Well, I mean, it's assuming, like, by answering that, you assume that you agree that immigration should be about contribution. I wouldn't agree with that personally because I think immigration should be about minding your own fucking business. You know, if somebody, doesn't matter if they are new or have lived in your community for 25 years, you know, you should judge them based off of what they do. And if they're the type that minds their own business, then you should be the type that minds your own business and not ostracize people for minding their own business. So, you know, if they do something that warrants ostracism, then yeah.
Well, in an ANCAP society, the minding your own business is a contribution, isn't it?
Well, I guess by a technicality, but I'm not gonna give it to you just because you're comparing it through the lens of a statist world still.
It's true.
So because it would be the norm, it wouldn't be a contribution, it would be the norm. So yeah, I'm not gonna give you that.
I'll also point out
Touche.
that it's not about contribution. It's about seeking freedom. Freedom to pursue a livelihood, freedom to start a family. It's no different than any other sort of freedom. People aren't coming here because they want to contribute to society. They want to come here because the image they perceive of America is this free country, this free society that they can escape from whatever tyrannic hellhole they're coming from. So it's not about being able to contribute to society. It's about seeking freedom.
yeah, I wrote this. I got a tweet queued up, and I didn't want to start a shitstorm in my feed before the show, but I have a tweet that I wrote queued up that's it should be easier to get a visa than welfare. And so like that was kind of the direction I was going with that. So all right. To Derek, legal immigration takes years because of government what?
Well, I would say existence because that's the witty and kind of little edgy answer. But government existed for the first 100 years in this country without controlling immigration in any way. So it is theoretically possible for the state to exist and not infringe on people's natural rights to travel. But can you bring the question up again? Because I kind of forgot what it was. Legal immigration takes years because of government, because now they've found a way to just shit on people's liberty. They're tyrannical, I guess, because of government tyranny. There you go. Final answer.
Just move the period right behind government.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Delete the blank, move the period over. Plus 100 to Chris for that wonderful suggestion.
I already paid for the blank. It's going nowhere. All right.
Kind of like all the
Typical
money that Doge was supposed to cut. It's already spent.
Yeah, exactly. It's my fiat's already gone on it. All right. Sean, to you. Immigrants who pay taxes and follow the law should get
A pat on the back for being a good slave. Really speaking, these people are trying to contribute to society as much as an ANCAP. I begrudge the fact that they have to pay taxes and commit to society, but people who are good people, regardless if they're an immigrant or a natural born citizen, they should be proud of themselves. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Chris, to you. Category is abolishing the police state. Neighborhoods are safer when
Everyone is armed and got nobody rolling around trying to take our guns away.
Okay. All right, Derek, to you. A true free society cannot exist with
The state, plain and simple. Liberty cannot coexist with the state. It's just a sad reality, and the faster people start to realize this, the better off we'll be.
I did good for the first hour and 20 minutes with questions that weren't just the government's the problem for every answer, but I tried.
In your defense, it's hard to do because the government is the problem to every problem. It's the root cause of every problem. So, yeah, I mean, you were not put in an easy, you were not given an easy task, my friend. So I still give you props despite it.
All right, thank you. It's like Celebrity Jeopardy, where there's only one answer, like, and they just tell you what the answer is, All right. Sean, to you. A badge should never allow for
A badge should never give you more powers, more authority, more of a likable existence than the normal citizen. Cops right now, whether they're federal, state, or local, they have their badge, and they view themselves as above everybody else. A badge should not be putting you above the law. If anything, in a truly just world, if I can't have Ancapistan, I have a world where people with a badge are held to a higher standard, but that's like asking for a unicorn to exist. We both know it's never going to happen anytime soon. So,
okay. Chris, to you. Category is drug prohibition. The first step to ending the drug war is
to decriminalize. Empty the victimless criminals, if you will, out of the jails, and decriminalize it so we don't have to keep putting more and more minorities and people that didn't hurt anybody in jail.
Okay. Derek, to you. Drug prohibition creates
Violence. Because drug prohibition only creates a black market, and the black market needs violence to survive. That's why free markets are so superior, even though black markets are only a true representation of the free market. But that violence is perpetuated because of the state's prohibition. So if you want a peaceful nation, if you want a very low crime rate, then you need to end prohibition, because it perpetuates all of the violence. Doesn't matter what your prohibition is. The state is predicated on violence, and in order to enforce its laws, whatever they may be, it needs that monopoly on violence to exist, which is why it perpetuates violence in black markets too. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Well said.
Sean, to you. Misspelling there. Marijuana legalization has proved.
It proves that freedom works. People can make choices for themselves. People, like, I hear all this time from the because the big thing now on conservative influencer X now is ever since Trump, the possibility of Trump rescheduling, not even decriminalizing, rescheduling marijuana. They're like, oh, we're back on this marijuana bad tirade, marijuana bad. Oh, I don't want, don't Colorado or California my Texas. But I'm just here like freedom works. The people are we're able to get more research done on the effects of marijuana, like what's happening. We wouldn't even know about marijuana related schizophrenia issues if not for being able to at least legalize medicinal marijuana to do research. So, but no, freedom works, and I hope and pray that even we're seeing this with red states now too. Missouri just a couple of years ago legalized recreational marijuana. They're not having the issues that Colorado is having. They're not having the smell issue or whatever, and fuck the people who care so much because of the smell and not because we're throwing innocent people in jail over a plant. Fuck those people. Those people can go die.
Well, even the even the legalization with the excessive taxation on it isn't showing true legalization. So
No,
you know,
so at the end of the day, the ideal legalization would mean, like within a non-Ancapistan, would mean that like a small sales tax. We'll give the local community 1% of all the sales, because
Well, here in Texas,
Cool.
they're trying to do a monopolization. Take the rights of the companies for hemp and CBD and THC products, and give
they're
it to
doing that
just
in Texas and Georgia right now. They're trying to lump hemp and CBD as part of cannabis with what Dan Patrick's doing with SB 5. I don't know. He's calling it SB
6.
We're on
Dan Patrick.
6 because they keep Texas, for being a part-time every other year legislature, seems to always find themselves in session. So, but in Georgia too, we just had that issue with them doing the exact same thing, limiting the percentage of cannabinoids and THC products as far as sales, usage in things like drinks and like gummies and stuff like that. So we're seeing this huge prohibition issue rise up again because conservatives can't get their panties out of their wad.
that was Florida too. They tried to pass an amendment, but it was going to make it all corporatized too. So it wasn't even, true legalization. It was, corporatizing it, and people didn't like that as well.
Yeah,
DeSantis is Abbott's lapdog.
Yeah. All right.
Greg Abbott skips leg day.
Yeah.
I
All right,
recognize
Chris, to you.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Chris, to you, the category is gun rights. The Second Amendment means nothing if
we don't have private property rights.
Okay. Derek, to you, gun-free zones are really
Pussy zones.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Chris. Gun-free zones are death traps. They are places where bad people can go do bad things because of a sign that prevents good people from being able to defend themselves. The gun-free zones are just horrible. They are, fuck gun-free zones. Every single one of them.
I agree. Sean, to you. The right to self-defense is meaningless if
red flag laws exist. If the government can take my guns first, due process later, I don't have the right to self-defense. I don't have a Second Amendment. People don't have a Second Amendment so long as the government can take the guns first, due process second.
Great answer. Chris, to you. Red flag laws like government take guns without
Due process. Without consent, without the consent of the governed. That's what I was looking for.
All right. I teed you up to use your shirt there. There was no shirt.
I said due process.
You got to do the, yeah. All right. Derek, to you. Gun rights are the last line of defense against
any infringement, any sort of tyranny. We often talk about the Second Amendment and gun rights as being the last line of defense against government tyranny, but tyranny comes from anywhere. Being mugged is tyranny. Being having your house broken into is tyranny, even though it's done by a private entity. So, gun rights are absolutely the last line of defense against tyranny in any form. And once they're gone, you're a sitting duck. You're basically in a gun-free zone.
Yes, you are. Sean, to you. Gun registries are really lists for
government. They're government spy lists. They're ways for governments to keep track of potential radicals. Look at New York right now. Look at California. All their tyrannical gun control policies. Illinois as well. I would imagine that those people the people in those states would have a better time fighting an attempt by Donald Trump to launch the National Guard into those states if they had robust gun rights and a robust defense of the Second Amendment, instead of governors and legislatures who think that for some reason banning guns leads to a freer and more polite society.
Another good answer. All right. We're in the home stretch here. One more question for each of you. Chris, to you. Single item bills is the category. If all bills were single issue bills.
Mute.
You're muted.
We could actually get some responsible legislation passed and have some true transparency.
All right. I was going to let you talk on mute. They're nicer than me. All right, Derek, to you. Omnibus bills exist to
expand government as quickly as humanly possible, which is why they're evil. So, fuck omnibus bills.
Excellent. And Sean, you're going to wrap us up here with the last question. Earmarks are legalized what?
What's the phrase from each according to it? They're legalized transfers of wealth, because essentially you're taking from one community, the tax dollars from one community, and sending them off to another for whatever pet project that the particular legislator promised his crony donors. Yeah, just earmarks are just theft. It's like any other form of taxation.
I like the sound of that, crony donors.
Made me hungry. I don't know why. All right. Enter scores. So if you haven't put your scores in the chat, do it now and tell us who you think won tonight. So let's jump into the chat and see what happened since the last time we were in there. 100 to Sean for humor. 100 to Derek for reading his mind. -1 to Derek. Sorry, I had to step away. 100 to Chris for making it this far.
Thanks, Casey.
100 to Sean for saying more.
Yeah,
-1 to Chris. First step is to abolish the government. Scientific says a unicorn is a second woman in a relationship according to the Urban Dictionary. -100 to Sean. Minus a lot to me for misspelling Mary Jane. I'm blaming that on my assistant. I have no idea how that happened. I don't misspell things that bad. 100 to Free, since he's the only one whose microphone is showing. Thank you. 100 to Sean for red flag laws. 100 to Derek for gun-free zones. 100 to Derek for being blunt. 100 to Sean for government spy lists. 100 to Derek just because ×2. 100 to Chris for transparency. 100 to everyone for a great show. And -50 to Casey for trolling me, but +50 to Casey because I appreciate the trolling. So we had a peaceful resolution in the chat. So let's stop it there and let's jump into the scores here and see what happened. I got to get some sort of drum roll, but here it is. Whoa, Sean wins by 1 point. 1,600 to Derek's 1,599. That 1 point
The
for
1
Casey.
point from Casey.
1 point for Casey sunk you.
You know what? Props. I'm giving 100 points to Casey for making me lose by 1 point.
In this scenario, Casey was the government tonight, so good job, Casey.
Yeah.
and then Chris at 1401. So
Hey, it was fun.
it was good. So Chris, you came in third. What'd you think, buddy?
That's what I expected. But no, it's fun. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. Man, a few words. And now I'm losing my. There we go. And then we've got Derek. You lost by 1 point, man. What do you think?
Hey, man. I just had a blast. This was great, and honestly, it's kind of like the best resolution to this that I lose by 1 point. I find that to be just perfect, and I love it. I couldn't have asked for better. This has been such a great time, and I'm just happy to have been part of it.
Excellent. And Sean, you're the big winner. Well, not big, but by 1 point, you're the winner. What do you think, bud?
I would just like to dedicate this to the hero of the Game 6 of the 2021 World Series, Jorge Soler, for the moonshot. Heard around the world. But also, I just had to throw in a jab for the guys from Houston. So, but no, I had a great time. Great crowd, great energy, great chat. I would like to thank the chat for believing in me enough to not neg me too much, because I recognize that while I didn't score the most point pluses, I definitely didn't lose the most. I definitely didn't lose the most points. So that was a great contributor to my overall score, and I'd like to thank the chat for believing in me.
And while I got you on screen, plug the Liberty Policy Alliance one more time for us.
Absolutely. Follow us on Twitter at Liberty Policy _ally. At the time when I made that, I did not think the underscore would be relevant. I would probably fix it eventually, but I think it brings some charm. But also follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We do technically have a LinkedIn. I don't know how many people actually use LinkedIn. But get creative with LinkedIn. Somebody should start shit posting on LinkedIn. That's the next frontier of social media shit posting. But no, you can go to libertypolicyalliance.org/donate to start becoming a donor. We do take Bitcoin. And as soon as I can figure out ways of getting other cryptos donated, we will also take donations in things like Monero, things like all forms of crypto. So, but we have memberships, we have merch on our site. You can buy a shirt, beer glass, stuff like that. But no, just start contributing if you want to. Just like send ideas. We're looking for things all the time as far as volunteers. We're looking for people to send us legislation, because it's only a small handful of us. We can't be everywhere at once. But if there's a bill in your state legislature that you think is important, we'll do the investigating on. We'll see if we can start drumming up some counterplay or some support for it.
Excellent. And let me put this up. All the info's on there. He's Sean for Liberty on X, and the rest of them are there too. Liberty POL _ALLY, and then all the other ones are on there as well. And then where are we going here? There's Derek. Derek, why don't you give a plug to your stuff too?
So most of my content is currently on X under my articles tab. But I am working on my second book. My first book is on Amazon and Audible. It's entitled The Liberty Solution. And you can pick that up for paperback, Kindle, audiobook. And I'm hoping to wrap up my second book sometime. Hit a pretty big wall of writer's block, so I'm trying to reconcile that. But I also have all of my essays on the torch.media. Big fan of the Libertarian Allies and that whole and their site and everything they've been doing. So yeah, that's where you can find all my stuff.
Excellent. Yeah. And it's all up there. That's the Liberty Solution that's on Amazon And the new book will be Chaos in Auburn. And yeah, the torch.media is where, I mean, you put all of your content up there, if I heard that correctly. And
every single one of my essays.
that's amazing. And you can also find it under his articles. I mean, you would not believe how much great free content Derek puts out there. So make sure you're checking it out. I've learned so much from that. And then let me throw Chris up here. Chris is, I believe it's at CS Townsend 79. So that's a typo. And then he also wanted us to promote antiwar.com, which is the go-to resource for all of that. Chris, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, since we said fuck Dan Patrick so much, I want to get everybody to go out and look for Hometown Hero ATX and the CEO of that company, Lucas Gilkey. Follow them. He's on everything. He's on TikTok, Instagram, X. He's leading the charge right now against what is SB6. SB5, Greg Abbott vetoed it at the last hour, and with the second special session going on now, good old Lieutenant Dan decided to reintroduce it. So they're going with it. It's almost identical. It's a little bit different, but this looks to put out 53,000 people out of their jobs, and they made here in Texas alone $8 billion last year in the CBD, hemp, THC, and all the tertiary markets that brings. So go find Lucas Gilkey, Hometown Hero ATX. They are really leading the charge. And if you want to just get a rundown on everything, I know Casey will hate me for this, but go find Lucas, Hometown Hero on TikTok. And he's got it all just summarized in real quick spurts.
Wait, TikTok's not banned? Fuck.
Casey's
I'm
trying to
kidding.
ban it. So
We also Liberty Policy Alliance is also on TikTok. It's easy to follow us on all the social. We have all of the social medias, but
It's just
there
hard
you
to
go.
it's hard to post on TikTok. You can't just
yeah,
post to me.
I've gotten banned like 3 times by TikTok, and I think I've tried to put up like one video, and I don't know what I keep doing wrong, but
like we don't even have that many people. We have like maybe on our TikTok 150 or so followers, but I'll routinely say something like, I'll post a video of me just saying something random about the government doing, and I'll get 50 likes and 20 comments. The algorithm on TikTok's just weird to me. The other day, about a week ago, I didn't even mention him by name. I just said, he's on the list, clearly referring to Donald Trump. And then all of a sudden, the comment section just floods with MAGA folks of ranging from "What list are you on, buddy?" or like Donald Trump can't be on the list, or what about Hillary Clinton? What about Bill? I'm like, dog.
yeah. Well, let me add the birthday girl back in here. Terry, what'd you think tonight?
They were calmer than I thought they would be. So I was looking for a few more punches at the government, but as always, I learn, and as always, I have fun because I love doing this. And I thought you did a pretty good job, Free, because I know it was not easy to. I mean, the answers obviously, well, not always for me, but the answer is no, 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 no. So I thought you guys did a great job of explaining where you were coming from and what you were thinking. So I'm proud of you.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're not as scary as everybody thinks.
No, well, it took me a while to learn that. So, give people a chance, Chris. They'll love you as much as I do. Aw.
There you go.
Love you too. Happy birthday.
And let's see here. You can follow Terry at BatsT76. Jump into her feed and wish her a happy birthday. And I am Freedom for Us for All. And you can get the shirts and mugs at freedomsuperstore.com. And please share this out again if you enjoyed it. The algorithm is really trying to mess with me. So any shares we get helps. And, subscribe to us on YouTube and Rumble. I think we're going to have more luck on Rumble going forward. So we'd love to get people on there as well. And, thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys make this so much fun. And yeah, so Friday, who do we got, Terry?
Well, let's look at my secret pad. On Friday, we have everybody from, oh, well, not everybody, but 3 people from LP Alliance coming on. We have Phil Rain, we have Amanda Griffith, and we have Kyle Davis. And they will, they're already getting fired up and ready to go. They're, you know, hitting my DMs like crazy and sending me stuff. So it's going to be a great show, and people will learn a lot from LP Alliance and what they can do to try to make things better for a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. They're 3 extremely intelligent people like the guys we had on tonight. So it'll be another fun one. And I'm a big fan of LP Alliance and their streams. So check them out as well. So once again, thank you to our 3 guests, and thank you to everybody in the chat. And we will see you Friday, 8 p.m.